What's going on, guys? This is Josh here for Future Back 3940 Reviews, where I talk movies, TV, music, giving you guys my review of Nobody, which is directed by Ilya Naishuller, stars Bob Odenkirk, Connie Nielsen, Doriza, and Christopher Lloyd. And this is the newest R-rated John Wick-like type action comedy film that came out last month. So, let's talk about it. Nobody tells the story of an arranged man who must go on a mission to save his wife and his son from a dangerous adversary and ensure that he will never be underestimated again. So in a barrage of fists, gunfire, and squealing tires, the chaos ensues as he goes to save his wife and child. So with that being said, let's get into my thoughts on Nobody, of course. Before I give my thoughts on Nobody, comment down below what did you think of this movie. Be sure to like this video, also share this video, as well subscribe to the channel for more live streams and more videos. Otherwise, you're not going to get notifications for either one of those. My merchandise store is also available in the description box down below. Nobody was a movie that wasn't really big on my radar at first. It wasn't really that big on my radar until I saw so many people just hype this movie up and talk about it, saying how badass it was, how awesome it was. So I decided to give it a watch, and I am a fan of these type of action movies in the style of the John Wick format. I love the John Wick trilogy, can't wait for chapter 4, and this seemed like a little bit of a comedic R-rated version of John Wick. So going into it, I was absolutely pretty excited to see it. So I gave it a watch, and Nobody was awesome. The first thing I have to say about this is that Bob Odenkirk, he is awesome. I have not watched an episode of Better Call Saul, but Bob Odenkirk, he is great in here. I think he's awesome in here. I think he's epitastic. He does a really good job in his performance and in his role. He does a very good job at playing the enraged man who's out there trying to go get his wife and kid back. And yes, this is a story that we have seen so many times before, and we'll see it so many times again. But it's like they took some of that flavor from John Wick and added here and made it even more awesome. And that's what I very much like about this movie, and much about the performance of Bob Odenkirk. He does a great job in his role. He is very commanding. He's very funny when he needs to be, and he's also very likable in this role. You can tell that he is determined to show that he will not be played with ever again, and he does a good job in the role. And he's also very physical in the action scenes when he needs to be, because you can tell he trained for a big part like this. So he's basically being the funny guy, but also being the action movie star guy, and I very much appreciate it about that. And also in the cast, we have Connie Nielsen, of course, from movies like The Gladiator and The Devil's Advocate and Wonder Woman. She's great as the mother in this movie, and she doesn't have a whole lot with her as well as the son, but I think they do a good job in their roles as well too. So I very much liked Connie Nielsen as the wife of the character Hutch. Also, Doriza as the half-brother, he was okay there. I thought he was fine. He didn't really have a whole lot to him, but I also really liked the son and daughter here. They did a great job for what they had to do. Also, you have Aleksei Serebryakov, who is the Russian drug lord who plans to kill his wife and kids, and he was a very fun villain. He's over the top, he's ridiculous, but there's not really much to him, which I'll get back into a little bit. And then you have Christopher Lloyd as his father, which he has some very funny moments to him as well, and Michael Ironside. So the acting is really good around here. The direction and the action in this movie. The action in this movie is insane. This is some cool, insane action. This is, of course, the director of Hardcore, Henry Witt, which I thought was okay. This movie I thought was even more better in terms of him being able to get as creative as he wanted to, and being very creative with the action scenes. This is written by one of the writers of John Wick and produced by the director of John Wick Chapter 2 and 3. This is a very well-directed, very awesomely paced, put-together action movie. And yes, this is an hour and 32 minutes, so there's not a whole lot of time for character development. But because of the way the performances were given, and because of the story, how the story was playing out, I thought it was I could easily let that swing, because easily a comedy action movie like this is fine to be brisk at a 92-minute pace, so that didn't really bother me as well. But let's get into the main thing about this movie. The humor in this movie is very funny. I love the comedy in this movie. This is one of the funniest movies I watch all year. It's very funny, it's very hilarious, and then you do get some little twists and turns with the main character of our movie, Bob Odenkirk, Hutch, and he does a really great job in his role, once I said, but they do at least give you some backstory on Hutch Marshall. But when it comes to the action scenes with Hutch and the Russian drug lord and his minions, it is awesome action. It's fun action. I was enjoying it. I have a fun time watching the action scenes, and it was just fun to watch. I was just having fun. It's R-rated, it's bloody when it needs to be, it's brutal when it needs to be, but it's not to the sake of being overly violent or overly gory like Deadpool. I appreciate that. So, director, you did earn my trust there. Also, cinematography in this movie is great. I love the camera work in this movie. There's a lot of great wide shots and a lot of camera angles that the director's photography chooses to use in terms of the ways the fights that you can see what's going on. There's no quick editing, quick cuts, shaky cam all over the place. And I very much appreciate that. Score I like as well by David Buckley. It's a very entertaining score from him. Another solid effort. So technical aspects aside, I thought it was really good. And the acting I thought was very good, as well as direction. And it does embrace what it is. It's basically being John Wick, but if you replace a dog with the family, and John Wick has to go save his family. But except this character is not John Wick. And honestly, if you were John Wick, I'd be pissed off too. If you were this character, I'd be pissed off trying to save my family or my friends. So I definitely like into my little negatives here. The only two negatives in this movie I can say is that the villain is not really that much to run home about. He's just there, he's being over the top, he does what he has to do, but he gets the job done for what he needs to be, and he's a serviceable enough villain. He's not going to be called the worst villain of this decade, not by a long shot. Also, my second negative, I do wish there was more to the family aspect, and I do wish we got more to the family life of things, and I do wish they had a little bit more to do, but that's pretty much it. Nobody, this was a pleasant surprise. I thought this was a fun movie. It was fun, it was entertaining. It's a nice action comedy that I went into not knowing a whole lot about, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself from beginning to end. The performances were great, I love the characters, and I just like what this movie was going for. So at the end of the day, I was very impressed. Over the top, all kinds of crazy and chaotic fun. Bob Odenkirk stole the show. There's funny humor, badass, bloody, fun action sequences that makes this look like the R-rated mix of Home Alone and John Wick. This was totally worth it. I definitely would recommend you guys seeing this. If you haven't got a chance to see it in theaters, don't worry. It is gonna come to VOD, and this is one of the big money makers this year. So I'm gonna give Nobody an epitaph. So thank you guys so much for watching watching my review of Nobody. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Or are you somewhere in the middle? All my social media links are in the description box down below. If you would like to send money to my channel, or you want some fan mail, you can email me and DM me privately as well. All my Amazon wish list is on the description box down below, as well as my merchandise store. And also be sure to check out the Fire Film Geek podcast channel set up by one of my other YouTube friends, which I am a part of. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and you guys keep it cool.